Hello, everyone. Thanks for making it today. Welcome to the talk, Growing Your Career in Tech Through Mentorship. I'm honored to introduce our speakers, which are the founders of Tupu. It is a nonprofit initiative to offer free mentorship to women, people of color, and other underrepresented groups in the tech industry. Please welcome Monica Sarbu and Madalina Tepelmann.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Cindy, for the wonderful introduction. I'm Madalina, and a little bit about myself. I studied computer science with master's degree. I've started my career working a couple of years at IBM and then moving to Spirent Communications. And because during my career, I've noticed how important it is to have someone giving you good advice at the right time and support you when you need the most. Together with Monica, we've decided to also give this possibility to free mentorship. Monica, back to you.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. I also study computer science, and I think the interesting part in my career starts when I created Packetbit. The goal was to build the first open source monitoring solution on the market at the time. So it was an agent that you install on your server and was looking at a network traffic, then inserting the data to Elasticsearch, and then use Kibana to visualize the data. After 2 years, this was acquired by Elastic, and at Elastic, we were able to continue our vision of building a more complete monitoring solution, and we created Beats. And then when the pandemic started, actually when we were in the first lockdown, we realized that I wanted to do something good to the society, and I had two options. One was to create or to write a book about, to give advices to women about how to grow their career in tech. And the second option was to create a mentorship program. And in the end, I decided to build that it's better to build a mentorship program because it gives you custom solutions for your problem. As if you're reading a book, then it can also give you some generic solutions. And then while we were building the platform behind Tupu, I realized that there is a huge need on the market for a database service that is easy to use, easy to get started, that comes with a developer experience and provides all the functionality that you need as a business to build your own business logic. So I also started, at the end of last year, I started Xata. So what we have in common, me and Madalina, is that we are both women in tech. And sadly, there are like only 21.5% of women in jobs in tech, in the tech industry. So this is really a low percentage. And I think it's important for us to grow, to have a higher percentage of diversity in tech companies, because it was proven that with diverse teams, you can build a more innovative and a more successful product. And there were even statistics that says that diverse teams have 90% higher revenue due to innovation. And diversity doesn't mean only gender, but also goes beyond that: nationality, career, industry, age, education, and so on. And I think what I'm more worried about is that statistics say that 56% of women are leaving tech at mid-level, or they don't start a career in tech. They are 3 times less likely for women to have a senior role, and there are 2 times faster women leaving tech. So in order to understand what's the cause of this, I would say let's try to put ourselves in the shoes of a woman in tech for a second. So imagine that you're at a conference like this one, and you have a conversation with a guy, and he is asking, like, do you have kids? And yeah. Oh, wow. So your husband is taking care of them. Yes, he's their dad. So there were a few years ago, there was this hashtag on Twitter, I look like an engineer, where a lot of women engineers, they were posting a picture with them and with what they are accomplishing at their tech startups. And I think this tweet here kind of summarize the need for this. So it's a conversation while a woman is presenting a project at hackathon. So you are a designer, right? No, I'm a developer. Oh, what? Really? You don't look like an engineer. Oh, what does that mean? Oh, I mean, you are too cute to be an engineer. So statistics say that women feel that they have to work harder than male. So 42% versus 22%, or 36% versus 42%. And you will be surprised that 46% of male, they don't feel like they have to work harder in order to prove their worth. So it's interesting that almost 40% of women in tech consider that gender bias is a barrier for getting a promotion compared to just 8% of men. And this is not, as a result of this, you will see that women are so less represented in leadership position. And I think this is not a surprise. So 3.9% of companies have a woman as their current CTO. 14% of companies have had a woman CEO. 8.5% of companies had at least half women founders. So here there were some statistics, and I would like to go for what women in tech think that are the biggest barriers for them to be promoted. And let's have a look to the first four. So 66%, they think that they have no clear path forward. And in my opinion, this is coming due to bad leadership. 41%, they have no mentor. 49%, they think that there is a limited budget. And 49%, they think that there's a gender bias. So this is also interesting. It's like what women in tech think that tech companies should do in order to support them. And let's go one by one. So offer equal maternity and paternity leave. And I'm so happy to see that so many tech companies are taking this serious. And there are so many tech leaders out there that they are fighting for this. Conduct unconscious bias training. And in the last years, I've seen that more and more of tech companies, they introduced some trainings. But I think there are lots of things that we can still improve in this direction. Offer flexible schedule. I think here it's also tech companies, I think, are improving on this direction. And now with the Corona situation, everyone is working in a distributed environment. I think this is going also in a better direction, in a good direction. And also promote more women in leadership. 79% of women want this. And this is no surprise. So if you have more women in leadership, then you will have more role models. And then those that will be able to grow diversity in tech. And the list is provide mentorship opportunities. 72% of women want to have something like this. So imagine that you are advised to search for a mentor, and one of the kind of guidance to where to find this mentor is to look at your network. And I personally believe that it's very crucial to find a mentor at an early, in the first. And I think, imagine at this stage, you don't really have a network. You just finished university. How can you find someone to mentor you? And in the last years, I've seen so many messages on social media or on different conferences, in the Q&A sessions or on meetups. People are searching for mentors. And here I'd like to read some of those tweets that I just found randomly on Twitter, like, I'm looking for a developer to be my mentor. Must be a woman, sorry, prefer minority, but I'm a bit more open on that part. Can anyone help in search of a female mentor working in cybersecurity? In search of a mentor who will help me understand how to navigate the startup idea? Luckily, I think there are a few mentorship programs out there, and I think there are a few problems with this. So, I would say not many, but top technical companies out there, they are using some of these mentorship programs, but in those you have to pay per employee, you have to pay per hour. And imagine if you have to mentor someone for 6 months, you have to pay really a lot of money. And then as a result, tech companies decide to enroll only a few people, and they are advised to enroll only the most promising employees. And in most of the cases, those people, they don't really need so much mentoring. And I've seen a lot of mentorship programs, at least before the pandemic, that were made, they were face-to-face. So you have to meet with a mentor face-to-face. So you are looking for a mentor in your own area. And I think the most problematic one is that in most of these mentorship programs, your manager is involved. So what that means is that you, together with your manager, define the goals of your mentorship program. And I think this is really bad, because imagine that in most of the situation, you have some issues with your manager, and you like to, not have someone in the company be aware about your struggles. So this was the motivation for us to start Tupu. It's a nonprofit organization, and our goal is to offer free mentorship that is available to everyone in tech, and we want to concentrate on offering to women in tech, people of color, or underrepresented groups in tech. And how does it work? Sorry. It looks like. Sorry. And we are able to have it for free because of our amazing mentors that prefer to volunteer some of their free time to mentor someone, and they are so proud of it. They even put it as a job, as a volunteer job in LinkedIn. So how does it work? So we match mentee with mentors from the 2 different tech companies, and usually the mentor chooses a platform, the video chat platform, what they should use for the sessions. And the part that I'm most excited about is that you have the opportunity to meet with someone from a different continent, and then you can share and exchange experience. So imagine that you are in Europe, for example, and you're working for a company in Europe, and you are really curious about how things are dealing in your organization in the US. So we also want to offer mentoring for every tech role. So what I mean is that this depends on your goals as a mentee, and which area you are in. For example, if you are in marketing, you will prefer to get a mentor from marketing, or if you want to get some advice for how to balance work and with your life, especially, for example, when you become a new parent, or if, for example, you are currently in support and you want to go into programming, then we'll also assign someone that is a software engineer to help you, change this path for you. And now I will leave it to Madalina to tell a few words about our learnings from Tupu.
Thank you, Monica. Yeah, we would like to tell about what we've learned in this time about mentors, mentees, and what it takes to make a successful mentorship. But first, let's have some words about mentorships, because next slide, please. Yeah, mentorship is nothing new to the humanity. So having a teacher, a guru, is known from ancient times. Actually, a long time, one-on-one learning was the only thing possible, because there were notebooks or other materials to storage the information. And there are some famous mentors in the humanity, in the history, like Socrates, who mentored Plato, Plato who mentored Aristotle, and Aristotle who mentored Alexander the Great, who then went and conquered half of the known world. But if we have a look to the modern mentorships, there are some famous ones that come to our mind, like Maya Angelou mentoring Oprah Winfrey, like Mother Teresa being mentored by Father Michael van der Piet. For the fashionistas, Christian Dior mentoring the young Yves Saint Laurent. And of course, some famous mentorships in tech, like Warren Buffett mentoring Bill Gates, and Steve Jobs mentoring Mark Zuckerberg. So nowadays, with schools, with universities, boot camps, and so on, one would think that mentorship 101 is the last thing people need. And still, more and more studies show that this is the key to success. So what better way to navigate through the overwhelming amount of possibilities than being guided by someone who already been through all this? So we've just seen that from ancient to modern times, the mentorship is beneficial to a mentee. But since the mentor has all the information and the experience, does it look like a one-way street? Not at all. As mentor and mentee are shaping each other and sharpening their skills. So we all have busy lives. We work, we go to school, we have families and pets to care of. We have friends and hobbies and new things to learn for our work or personal life. So why taking the time, making the effort to mentoring someone? Well, at this moment in time, you are who you are due to the hard work you've done, but also due to the successful work of your parents, all the teachers, colleagues, and managers who sustained you and mentored you actively or without knowing. So wanting to help someone is natural. You also get the chance to practice to deliver best information in bits and bytes, not to overwhelm the mentee. A mentor gets the chance to lead the mentee to become more skillful, more independent in searching for information, solving issues, access their network or the community when needing help. Because new times generate new challenges, but it also gives the possibility to solve old challenges in new ways. So in this process, the mentor has the chance to update his or her knowledge and stay in touch with what's new in the field. So stay tuned, because there is even more for being a mentor. Being at the beginning of a career or searching for new reaching a new phase is coming with doubts, but also with a lot of curiosity and enthusiasm. So the mentor has the unique opportunity to charge this wonderful enthusiasm and see the domain again with curious eyes. Also, a mentor has the opportunity to hear firsthand the challenges a mentee has. Some of these challenges might be unconscious bias to which otherwise you wouldn't pay attention. And let's not forget that if you have projects at work or outside work, having a mentee to help you is a wonderful win-win situation. Last but not least, let's remember that nature created humans as social beings to help and get help from each other in order to survive. And as a bonus, every time we help someone, we get a good dopamine boost. So how cool is that? You get to help someone, to learn something new, and also maybe get to be helped in your own projects. So you've agreed to mentor someone. Now what is expected from you? Let's see what to consider. Together with your mentee, break the goals in very atomic tasks, which can be done from session to session, because small things lead to big things, and small things are doable. Practice shows that it is very efficient to concentrate on doing the small tasks. Having a big task to work on could overwhelm the mentee. Also, be patient, very, very patient. If there are parents or big brothers and sisters among you, you may remember how much patience you have to have with a small child till the child learns to do things alone. Well, with mentees, it's the same. Some tasks may be done immediately. For others, you might have to repeat over and over till the mentee understands the importance of doing the task. The slide before, Monica, please. Give encouragement. Yeah. If your mentee is at the beginning, chances are that he or she has big doubts about the knowledge or skills, about the power to complete a task and to reach a goal. So the mentor's task would be in this time to over encourage the mentee. This might not feel easy if you are a person who didn't need motivation or encouragement. But remember that some people need a little more encouragement to get off of their shells and believing in their abilities. The way to encourage them, like the normal high five, well done, and so on, what works for you. But also remember to point out things your mentee already accomplished, because self-confidence is built on proofs. So yesterday, your mentee has solved an easy task. Today, solving a middle one. And little by little, with your help as a mentor, will also solve difficult tasks. And one day, also trust to do all this by himself or herself. Give feedback is important for a mentee to know how good they perform and what is next they have to do. So remember to give a constructive feedback. And here I take the opportunity to address to all mentors, mentees, and everyone from the community. Remember to be kind when giving feedback, to give a constructive feedback where that person can build something upon. So feedback shouldn't give someone the feeling to be ashamed or the need to attack back. There should be this feeling of, aha, that's a good point. I haven't thought about this. But now that you mention it, it totally makes sense, and I will consider it for next time. So does it sound like a perfect way of having feedback? Could be. But if everyone would like such a feedback, then everyone has to strive to give feedback this way. So we've seen that a mentor should give meaningful feedback, but should also take feedback. Teach your mentee that in order to help him or her best, you also need their feedback. What else could you do to help your feedback? To help your mentee? One slide before, Monica. Whenever possible, consider integrating your mentee in your project. If it's an article to write, or if it's a talk you want to give, a code review, and learn from. One very important thing for your mentee is also to receive appraisal. after finishing a task, accomplishing a goal, no matter if small or big, take the time to praise your mentee and point out the steps he or she has done to reach the goal. One last thing for a mentor would be to pay attention to burnout, because burnout is not only for workplace. A mentor who invests a lot of time and energy in the mentee, in preparing herself for such a meeting, can also reach the burnout if the mentee is not making the progress as fast as the mentor expects. So taking it easy and concentrating on the small and doable things is the key to success for both mentor and mentee. Now that you know what is expected from a mentor, let's see who is qualifying to be a mentor. The obvious would be someone with experience in the domain, but it shouldn't, it doesn't have to be 20, 10, or 5 years with experience. If the mentee is really at the beginning, could benefit also from a mentorship from someone who is 1 or 2 years in the. Not so long ago, the mentor had the same challenge the mentee, and it might help. Next slide, please, Monica. Yeah, so everyone can be a mentee from beginner to advanced. Everyone can benefit from guidance from someone more experienced in the area he or she is trying to build skills. You might also you might be a mentee to achieve your goals and also help someone else, mentoring someone to achieve his or her goals. Now, let's see what is taking to be a mentee, best practice. So congratulations, someone agreed to mentor you and guide you to achieve your goals. What is the role? What is expecting from you? First, acknowledge that your mentor is investing a precious resource of their life, time to prepare, time to meet you. So be considerate of your mentor's time and make the mentorship as smooth as possible for them. Imagine yourself as the driver of the mentorship. You are the one defining where you want to go and where your destination is. Your mentor is the driving assistants who point out the different paths to your you could take and the work you should do to reach your destination. So play a very active role in the mentorship. By setting the mentorship session, also consider that if you can't show up to the session, you should inform your mentor as soon as possible. By setting the agenda for the next session and send it to your mentor some days in advance. Doing this is helping you to focus and also start working toward it. But it also gives your mentor the time to prepare and support your best. One constant that you'll have in your career is feedback. Getting feedback from your peers, your manager, your members, community members. So get comfortable to receive feedback. Also, active search for feedback when wanting to improve your skills. Only by knowing where you are and what you have to do, you can progress. But different people will give you differently their feedback. Some might choose very well their words, and some might rush to tell you what you should do different without taking the time to consider that their words might do more wrong than help. So what to do when the feedback is harsh? First, don't close your eyes or your ears. Take the content, not the package. See if there is something valuable for you in this feedback. Give the person the credit that the intention was good, but the words were not that well chosen. What if that person, mentor, colleague, manager, member of your community is continuing giving you feedback in the same manner? Well, the best way would be to approach that person and mention that you value the feedback, but this sounds very harsh to you. If you're at the beginning of your career or to the community, you might not feel like approaching directly the person. In this case, get the help of other colleagues or members of the community. You might even have a special committee in your company or community to mitigate issues. Get comfortable to give feedback. Yes, also a mentee should give feedback to the mentor. And this might be very difficult at the beginning, as you might not feel comfortable to tell an experienced person that some of their suggestions were not working for you. But remember that through mutual feedback, you and your mentor take mentorship that will fit you best. Do the work. And this is not coming from Tupu, but from a bestseller author. There is no other way making progress than doing the work. To make it easy for you to stay motivated and make consistent progress, do every day a little more towards the goal you are currently working on. Last point on the list, but tremendous important, is to give back to your community. With your mentor's help, you'll acquire faster knowledge and skills. And what better way to practice than by giving back to your community in form of projects, articles, tasks, code comments, because that was because what was relevation for you might also be and more experienced community members might also add ideas to your project, and so more and more members will be involved in this. So always remember that your contribution, even small, is a butterfly effect, which can lead to big effects for you and for your community. Now let's see how to start a mentorship and set it up for success. So first, get to know each other. In the first sessions, 1-2 sessions, get to know each other. If you don't know each other already. Just talk a little bit about your life, your career so far, your family, if this is comfortable with you. As mentor and mentee might come from different, also might have a different understanding on how much to reveal about their family. So just pay attention and be respectful towards your mentor or your mentee, what they prefer to discuss. If by mistake your mentorship partner is overlooking this, just gentle remind them. Maybe share a little bit about your hobbies. The idea is to find a common ground where you can make a small talk to warm up at the beginning of every session. Some more takeaways how to set up a mentorship for success will be to decide the beginning how long the mentorship will be. From our experience, 6 months is a good time. Also, how often you will meet, and take, of course, this will depend on the mentor's time. Just take in consideration that if the sessions are too close, the mentee doesn't have enough time to take actions. And if the sessions are too spaced, the mentee will progress too slow. The most important, decide for which goals the mentee wants to work on in this period of time, and who will maintain a progress document. And also try to to discuss what is for you a successful mentorship, because not all the goals might be achieved due to internal or external factors. And just because not every goal was achieved doesn't mean that the mentorship was entirely unsuccessful. All good things have an end. And if your mentorship is ending because the time is up, or one of the partner doesn't have time anymore for a session, or the mentee also already reached his or her goals, just take the time to reflect. Make a summary of your time together. Acknowledge the work each other has done, the goals which were achieved, what worked and what not, what can be done different, maybe some key points to take away for both of them. And ending a mentorship doesn't have to be the end. Stay in touch if it's possible, and consider collaborating for other projects. Thank you. That was from our side. Are there any questions?
Yeah, firstly, just thank you, Monica and Madalina, for sharing your learnings on this great talk. I did want to mention we had a session earlier, and it was kind of interesting how much the points paralleled each other, because that topic was focused on how to get new contributors to be effective within our community and making contributions. And I think points like being positive, giving positive encouragement, and then also just the point of effective mentorship and how important that is for our community. And so, yeah, thank you again. And yeah, we'll open for any questions. There is an observation right now that someone pointed out that back in 1983, when they were a CS undergrad, the men split in their class was 50-50. And that was 100% natural. There's no deliberate effort in that regard, as far as they know, and they haven't seen a good explanation for that. And I was wondering as well, if you have any ideas of what that difference has seen over the past decade.
Yeah, I think that's a good That's a good observation. I think. The statistics say that 56% of women are leaving tech in the first few years. So basically, I think this is what not enough women in tech. That's true that that they are fewer than it used to be. But I think there is a whole path, when there is a little girl and we need to, girls are I'm not doing this because, or I don't want to become this because this is a job designed for boys. So I think there are so many things that we need to do also from early stage, from the 7, 8, 10 years old kids, in order to encourage them to go more or to be comfortable in deciding more tech related university, go after math and physics and study in university, computer science, or any other STEM university. And then we also have to after we have this kind of fix that we have more women in university, in STEM university, then we have to see how we can support women to find a job, and then how can I support them to be successful and grow their career in tech and be there for many, many years, not just decide to leave tech just because they had they had a bad experience and they found a toxic environment. And I'm always saying this, if you are in a company that you realize there is a toxic environment, just don't leave tech. change a company, because there are so many great companies out there that this company doesn't define tech as an industry, right? So I think there are so many things that we need to work on. And me personally, I'm really happy to see there are so many organizations that are tackling one of these part of the puzzle, if you want, right? So like I know some nonprofits that are like trying to support girls to go more into STEM university, and then I think we are starting to do more work as a community, but I think it's not sufficient. And I think everyone is like thinking like, what can I do? Like if everyone would spend imagine half an hour of their time mentoring someone that needs help, half an hour per month or 1 hour per month, can make a huge difference. And I think is like, I don't think there is a perfect solution out there. It's just, like Madalina said, the butterfly effect. You mentor someone and this mentee becomes a mentor and mentors 2 or 3 others. And then we as a community, I really believe that we can change that.
I think somewhat related in terms of like being a mentor for somebody else. If someone is thinking about becoming a mentor, like how do they possibly assess whether they have the time that's needed to be an effective mentor for that person that they're thinking to mentor for?
Well, I think that as Monica said, if you have half an hour maybe per week, or if you have 1-2 hours per month, that is a very good start. And then you can see from here. You can mentor someone and see if this is enough, and maybe afterwards you can mentor someone else, and so on. So just take it start with one person with the little time you have, and see how you can grow from there.
And then related, whether it's on the mentor or the mentee side, how does one recognize when a mentorship is no longer effective, which could be due to tons of causes, like whether they have a lack of time that they didn't have before, or like anything else?
Yeah, I think there are many situations in which like we choose a mentee, like we assign, actually the mentee is able to choose between 3 mentors. This is how we do. So we let them decide 1 out of 3. But I think it's like there's always the case that, they are not, they cannot really, get along, or there are different personalities, or anything can like happen. I guess in this situation, another mentor for them that fits very well with their personality and their goals. So like we don't have to wait for 6 months to realize that.
We keep in contact with mentor and mentee, and also ask for feedback from time to time and see how it's working. And I mean, sometimes it is like the mentee maybe is not finding that easy going. Hey, this is not working for me, but sees that somehow the goals that we are working on, the mentor can't help that much the mentee. Then usually the mentor is also saying, hey, I could help the mentee this point. That is my expertise. Let's find someone else to take it from here.
But I think in most of the cases, like just a small advice you give someone, this will be crucial for their career. So I think it's like, I think people are, I mean, maybe underestimating. I think you don't have to spend a lot of time. I think active view on your problem usually, because usually people turn to mentorship when they have a struggle, they have an issue with a colleague, something that triggers them to go into mentorship. And I think by just giving, someone like a personal advice, usually it really helps that person really much. And the thing that we are now thinking of is that we are thinking to build groups of people. So let's say you have 8 people, 8 mentees with one mentor. And because in this case, there are lots of situations where the mentees are also helping each other. So you don't have to really have a one-on-one situation for all the problems or all the the goals that mentees have, but we can have we can group people by, for example, I am an individual contributor and I want to move to management, and people can meet and share ideas and thoughts about this, and then we can have a mentor that is guiding the conversation.
All right, thank you so much. We are now concluding the end of this session. And I just want to thank Madalina and Monica again for spending their time sharing their learnings from running Tupu, and then also thank our audience for being able to make it out today. I hope you have a good rest of the session or the conference.
Well, thank you, Cindy. Thank you, everyone, for hearing us. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.